Hey, guess what? There's a lot of cancer happening in people under 50, and they don't know why. Isn't that something? A study by researchers from Brigham and Women's Hospital. Well, you Brigham.
It's Brigham.
You Brigham. A study by researchers from Brigham and Women's Hospital reveals, I love when Women's Hospital do a reveal, that the incidence of early onset cancers, including breast, colon, esophagus, kidney, liver, and pancreas, has dramatically increased around the world, with the rise beginning around 1990.
Are they going to say it's bad that we have tiny amounts of plastic in our blood and
Right. Yeah, is that what's
organs?
wrong? In an effort to understand, is it because everybody's drinking aspartame? Could it be that? In an effort to understand why many more people, you know what happened with that aspartame? You know how they got that approved, right?
Mm-mm.
So they couldn't get it approved. And every time they would do the studies, they would do 3-year studies on mice. They'd open them up, and then now don't quote me on any of this, because this is all out of my recollection, my pot-addled recollection. That they would open up the mice and there'd be tumors. So then they just started doing. So then they hired the company hires Donald Rumsfeld. Donald Rumsfeld leans on the board, whatever the board has to, and he gets them to approve it 2-1.
Oh,
he gets them that they just use 2-year studies. They open up there's no tumors after 2 years. From our data, we observed something called the birth cohort effect. The effect shows that each successive group of people born at a later time, a decade later, have a higher risk of developing cancer later in life, likely due to risk factors they were exposed to at a young age. We found that this risk is increasing with each generation. For instance, people born in 1960 experienced higher cancer risk before they turned 50 than people born in 1950. And we predict this risk level will continue to climb in successive generations. This guy worked with the lead author, Tomataka Ugai, and colleagues from 2000 to 2012 to analyze global data on 14 cancer types that showed increased incidence in adults before the age of 50. Then the team searched for available studies that examined trends of possible risk factors, including early life exposures in the general population. Finally, the researchers examined the literature describing clinical and biological tumor characteristics of early onset cancers compared with cancers diagnosed after age 50. In an extensive review, the team found that the early life exposum, can you look that up?
It's like
Yes.
exposome.
Exposome, which encompasses an individual's... Oh, okay, he's going to tell us what it is.
Like a biome, an exposome.
Encompasses the individual's diet, lifestyle, weight, environmental exposures, and microbiome has changed substantially in the last several decades. They hypothesized that factors like the Western diet and lifestyle may be contributing to the rise of early onset cancer. The team acknowledged that this increased incidence of certain cancer types is in part due to early detection through cancer screening programs. So maybe they're doing better testing. They couldn't precisely measure what proportion of this growing prevalence could solely be attributed to screening and early detection. However, they noted that increased incidence of many of the 14 cancer types is unlikely due to enhanced screening alone. So, surprisingly, researchers found that while adult sleep duration hasn't drastically changed over the several decades, children are getting far less sleep today than they were decades ago. No kidding.
I don't know.
Around the world?
Risk factor.
Seems like a
What?
very, very appropriate cop-out for corporations are poisoning our food supply. And our
Yeah. The kids ain't sleeping.
getting
That's why
less
they're getting cancer.
Back when there were less child labor laws, they were getting better sleep?
They were getting better sleep. 1860s England is
Those
when the
kids were
best
doing
sleep.
great.
They're getting the best sleep.
That was the
I'm
best.
not buying it. I'm not buying it.
Real My Pillow sleep they were getting.
Risk factors such as highly processed foods, sugary beverages, obesity, type 2 diabetes, sedentary lifestyle, and alcohol consumption. How about aspartame?
How about just the sugar cartel that
Right?
puts all, you're supposed to
Sugar
have
in everything. There's sugar in bread.
Yeah, have a nice
I didn't
bowl of
even know
sugar
what
when you wake up.
aspartame was.
Oh, you didn't
I've never
know,
heard
huh?
of that.
So if you
Are they
drink a
still
Diet
using
Coke,
it?
that's what you're getting, right?
I don't
that
drink soda.
They're still using
I'm in the
that?
clear.
Andrew, do you drink Diet Cokes?
I thought they switched aspartame to something else.
Did they switch it to NutraSweet?
I thought that was a long time ago.
There was a bunch of kids in my hometown, which also conveniently is the largest repository of nuclear waste in the country, and had radioactive a leak in 2012 from our nuclear power
What
plant.
town?
Bunch of kids I went to school with had cancer.
What town are you from?
San Clemente, California.
Oh, I'm from Tom's River, which is a cancer cluster on 60, as seen on 60 Minutes.
According to Steph, they use aspartame currently in Diet Coke. And can I just
200 milligrams in a 12-ounce can of Diet Coke contains 200 milligrams of aspartame.
So you know how the guy who was in charge, the U.S. Attorney General who filed a lawsuit against the company, he retracted it because he got a job with Searle's public relations or law firm. And then the medical guy who also was against it and said he joined their public relations firm. So this is what it says in Wikipedia. The actions of Samuel Skinner in taking a job with the law firm retained by Searle during an investigation into Searle, and Arthur Hall Hayes into taking a job with Searle's public relations agency following aspartame approval, fueled conspiracy theories. Or it really sparked the interest of logic-brained people.
Well, I mean, what's the conspiracy? That's a huge conflict of interest.
That's not a conspiracy.
Oh, you bought them off?
Yeah, right? People got bought off. Because of the approval controversy, Senator Howard Metzenbaum requested an investigation by the Government Accountability Office into aspartame's approval. In 1987, they reported that the protocol had been followed. Oh, really? The GAO reviewed include a survey of scientists who had conducted safety reviews. Of the 67 scientists who responded to a questionnaire, 12 had major concerns about aspartame's safety, 26 somewhat concerned.
And then the other ones just got a job with Swirl or whatever.
So the rest of them just got jobs at Searle. So that would be 36. That would be 38 out of the 67 scientists had major concerns or somewhat concerns about aspartame.
We'll mark that down as another thing that Alex Jones was right about.
Did he say something about that?
That's what a lot of people in the chat are saying.
Wow.
And that was because of they're not. I don't see anywhere his name, Donald Rumsfeld's name.
Do they hire Alex Jones to say these things so that people who should know about it won't believe it when they hear it?
Yes,
I heard what they do is, so he's got a lot of CIA connections, and they feed him a lot of correct information and then a lot of information that's completely bogus, and they muddy the waters.
Yeah, so they can they discredit it
because he comes off like that.
That's exactly right. So if he said something like, "Hey, Iraq doesn't have WMDs," they can go, "Oh, you a crazy Alex Jones guy?" So that's how they use him. That's how they use him. Hey, come catch one of our live stand-up shows. We'll be in Spokane, Tacoma, Virginia Beach, Richmond, Arlington, San Jose, Miami, West Palm Beach. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all the tickets and become a premium member while you're there.